Hey everyone, and welcome back to Ask Mark number 47. Yeah, 47. If you're watching this as it goes live, happy Friday. It's the weekend, baby. It's Halloween as well this weekend. Can't wait for Mike Myers to come round and stab me up. Yay. And also as well, in England, it's is it the end of daylight savings or is it the start? I don't know, whatever. Basically, the clocks go back, so we get an extra hour in bed. I say that. I've got a baby, so it doesn't matter. It just means I'm going to be getting up at nothing. I'm going to be getting up at 4 rather than 5.
It's that, and anyone who works in like shift work or something, their night shift just gains an extra hour. Yeah. And it's just like,
I've never thought about that. Condolences.
Yeah. If you can play the system and you do like the spring clocks, then you have an extra short shift. But otherwise, it is extra long. But I heard rumours that we're getting rid of it anyway.
Nah, they've been saying that for years. They'll never get. Or if they do it, just leave it as so we have an extra hour rather than us losing the hour.
People will complain.
Either
way.
Yeah, they'll complain about anything. Let's be honest. Mark, the shade of blue on your hoodie is not right. How dare it not be that shade, the different shade of blue? Anyway, we are completely going off topic. Ask Mark, how are you, Mark? Have you had a good week? The studio it looks a bit different. What's going on? What have you been up to there?
Yeah. A few things have been changing. We got a little bit of funding to sort of put some shelves up. So you start to see sort of products on the shelves, a new tabletop, bit of carpeting in here to help with the sounding. So going forwards over the next few months, you're going to start to see a few little changes around here. Make things a bit better lighting because it's a little bit harsh at the moment. But we're going to improve and change and evolve.
Nice. I didn't get fired this week, so that's my positive. I've still got my green screen. Not that you can see it; it's something else. But there is a green screen behind there. Cool. All right, nice. That's exciting. I can't wait to see the evolving studio and setup and camera work. One day I'll be around there to see it in the flesh. Depending on if we go on another lockdown or whatever the hell the government's doing in the UK right now.
Yeah. Let's not talk about those.
No, let's not. Right, let's actually get on with the Q&A. So let's answer some questions, shall we? So the first one is from Cheesy Pops. Hello, Cheesy Pops. Hope all is well. They say I'll start dry suit diving soon, so I'll be using a Seawolf dry suit. What is your opinion on Seawolf dry suits, Mark? Are they made out of wolves? Real wolves?
No. I think they use quite fancy materials. Actually, I think they brag a lot about the external linings or something.
Nice.
And I have it in my mind that they have like Teflon coating or something. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I looked into them. They're not a big brand over here. It's one of the things that I've heard of them, but I've also heard of a whole ton of sort of other brands. I think they're Polish, which is pretty good heritage. A lot of good dry suits come out of Poland, like with Santi dry suits, fantastic dry suits. One thing that sticks in mind about Seawolf is that their front zipper, but their zipper continues quite far like over the shoulder, which makes your life a lot easier because when you're trying to get in and out of a dry suit, it has to be front entry if you're doing it all by yourself. But the toughest part is literally contorting yourself to get your neck through and your head through that neck seal. But if the zipper is just a little bit further around your shoulder, it just makes it a lot easier. I don't think I've read anything bad about them. So, I think that's kind of it. Just have a look around sort of forums of people that use them. They tend to do a lot of test sort of dry suit sessions. So if they're still doing that sort of post 2019, then just sort of give them a shout and sort of see if you can physically try one on. They usually Dayglow orange. I think they do a lot of stuff for emergency services, so a lot of their suits are just bright orange.
Which is cool.
Yeah. Helps you be seen in the water. But yeah, I think they are fairly tough. I've never used one myself. I don't know if I've ever sort of seen one in the flesh. I've got to get that sort of disclaimer out. But yeah, I mean, if they were awful, I'm sure you'd find somewhere online people saying, gosh, no, they're awful. One thing that sort of does spring to mind is that they use plastic zippers. Just double check sort of which ones, because a few years back there was a problem with T-zip. T-zip, I don't think they have this problem anymore. This was like 2015, 2016 sort of era, I think. They had a problem with delamination. So if you do have plastic zippers, make sure they're either what is it, YKK or like a modern sort of iteration of the T-zip, because they fixed the problem. So a lot of manufacturers came away from them, but I think they fixed it now. So they're starting to go back. But yeah, just double check. But yeah. Cool. I'm sure they're perfectly fine.
Cool. I'll leave it over to the guys and girls. Have you ever used Seawolf dry suits? Let us know how you got on with them down below, please, and let's help out Cheesy Pops. Nice one. So, question number 2 is from RV Billy. I've heard of him before.
Yeah.
Don't you have a? I think don't you have a restraining order, Mark, against him? He just keeps
still going through the courts.
Is it? Oh, okay, sweet. All right, that's for another Ask Mark or maybe a deco stop. Anyway, sorry, Billy. He says, "Can you do a video on diving with heated undersuits, please, or answer this question?" I'm freezing to death in 60 Fahrenheit water in my dry suit with a fourth element Arctic. And I'd like to point out that was all in caps. He says, my dive shop says I have the thickest undersuit made for the next step, thickest undersuit, and the next step is heated undersuits. But I'm nervous about it affecting my decompression and my dive computer's algorithm, because if it thinks that I'm in cold water but I'm actually warm, I won't be taking on the gas faster than what my dive computer thinks, ? I'm pretty confused. Please help me out here, guys. Can you thoroughly explain what's happening with heated undersuits and diving? Big thanks from Lake Havasu City, Arizona.
Yeah. 60 degrees Fahrenheit is like 15 degrees Celsius for the metric users. Fourth Element Arctic isn't even their thickest undersuit. They do the Halo 3D, which is going to change to the Halo AR. Eventually, I don't know when that's set to be released, but so yeah, there are alternatives to going straight to sort of heated. You can also layer up a base layer. Something like J2 is a wonderful addition. You wear it underneath your Arctic. That makes a world of difference. But you also get something like X Core from Fourth Element, which is basically just a vest. They also do sort of pants as well, and that's just starting to layer up. So sort of more layers helps to sort of increase the insulation. You could go up to Halo 3D that has separate. It's like a mesh panel. It's almost like honeycomb in the center, which doesn't compress, so that maintains sort of air insulation around key areas. You could go to argon. It's not a cheap way of doing it, but if you have a separate tank of just argon to inflate your dry suit, because argon's got a much better thermal capacity at keeping you nice and warm, or using your own body heat to keep you warm. Nitrox is bad. I think nitrox isn't as good at keeping you warm. I think nitrogen is pretty good, but as soon as you start to reduce the nitrogen sort of composition of the air that you're using, it in turn sort of gets colder. So try not to use nitrox to inflate your dry suit. If you don't want to go down the argon route, then just use basic 21% air or 20.9% air. If you do, you can go to heated undersuits. Now, dive computers often don't use the water temperature to affect the algorithm, because it's kind of tough because the dive computer, granted, it knows the water temperature, but it doesn't know how much exposure protection you're wearing. So I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I don't think a lot of dive computers actually use the water temperature to sort of affect the algorithm. There are some that do. The Scuba Pro, they have human factor diving, and if you're wearing a special heart rate monitor belt, it monitors your skin temperature and then it adjusts your decompression profile. But yeah, if you are using a heated undersuit, it's best to either sort of always, you kind of have to have it in the middle, because if you're too cold, then your body restricts circulation, especially to the extremities. So any gases that have been dissolved in there kind of stay there until you warm back up. But if you go too hot and you end up sort of sweating, then that's quite bad as well. You need to keep it at like a steady medium. So if you are looking at heated undersuits, make sure that one, you can connect it and disconnect it from the outside. There are some undersuits that you put them on, you switch them on at the beginning of the dive or something, you zip up your dry suit, go for the dive, but if it continues to heat and it gets too hot and you can't physically get to it to disconnect the battery or something, then you can get in trouble. So yeah, try and make sure it uses like either an external battery, or you can physically disconnect it in some way from outside when you're actually in the water. But yeah, you need to make sure that one, you have a lot of battery power left in the battery, so you're not on gassing with the temperature on. So anything, whenever it heats up, it ends up doing things faster. So you're absorbing more gas when you're nice and warm, but then if the battery suddenly runs out halfway throughout the dive, then your body starts to cool down, everything starts to slow down, and then you're off gassing slower. So all of that extra nitrogen and gases that you have been absorbing, you can't get rid of it as fast, and your dive computer doesn't know about it. So whilst it says everything's okay, actually it's not. So it's better, if it does fail, to just stay and decompress as long as you can. Gas as long as you've got enough gas. I can't think of the word. The word has lost me. But yeah, you do have to do a bit of research on sort of heated undersuits, how it affects your decompression, and it's best to keep it as kind of you're comfortably warm, but you're not hot, but you're not cold neither, in that kind of middle ground. That's kind of where you want to be.
Say it.
What Goldilocks?
Yeah, there you go. Bingo! I've got SimplyScuba bingo.
Yeah, it'll be Flappy Snag Hazard, Goldilocks, Bolt Snap.
Oh, Bolt Snap. Oh, yeah. Yeah, mate, that's interesting. Are you done anyway? Yeah, you done? Is that?
yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Cool.
It is a huge topic when you get into like body temperature and decompression algorithms, and then sort of heated undersuits and all that. But
it is interesting though about his obviously this dive centre that they've gone. Oh no, you've got the Arctic. The next step is heated. They've missed out quite a lot of other steps.
Yeah, that's a lie. Even Fourth Element make sort of thicker, warmer undersuits, because the Arctic, I can't remember the exact numbers, but that's like 16 degrees Celsius down to like 7. But you get the Arctic Expedition, which is like 15 degrees down to 6 or something. I can't remember the exact numbers. But then you get the Halo 3D, which is even colder still. And then you just layer up. So just wear like Zero Therm underneath it as a base layer, or J2 if anything. Yeah. Dry gloves, if you keep your extremities warm as well, dry gloves and a thicker hood, they make a world of difference. A full face mask, because then you're keeping your face isolated, keeps that out of the cold water. There's lots of things that you can do before going down the heated undersuit route. Yeah,
cool, excellent. You guys and girls got any tricks and tips, anything that you want to add on to what Mark has said? Let us know in the comments, and let's help out Stalker RV Billy. I'm only joking, Billy. You're not really a stalker.
Yeah, I don't know why he's suddenly a stalker. Or she, I don't actually know.
Billy, it's a boy. Billy boy. Anyway, swiftly moving on. Don't hate me, Bill. So this is from it's either Truth's Light or truth slight?
Slight.
It's one of those
I think
two.
it's truth's light.
Yeah, it's definitely
The
truth
light
slight.
of truth.
The light of... which you're going to get by me answering this question, I guess. Anyway, they say, question about YouTube algorithm nuances for Sean. Does it impact the metrics if I don't, or if we don't watch all the way through to the absolute end of the video versus clicking away once to the end of the video screen shows up, so you're clicking through it? Also, is there any difference between skipping through ads versus watching them through the entire ad? Cheers, or thanks/cheers. So there's, in all honesty, there's not a great... there is. I'll answer the ad one first. So if there's a skippable ad and you don't press skip and you let it run through the entirety of the video, even though you don't click on it, we get revenue from it. So even if you don't click on that advert, we get revenue. That's why bumper ads, you're seeing more and more bumper ads from people, because YouTube actually /Google make more money off of bumper ads, the 6-second ads, because they, as soon as you click skip, there does a couple of things. So first off, we don't get any money from it. So we don't get any revenue from that ad playing if you hit skip. But then also as well, YouTube, I believe, or as of recording, they can't charge that company for showing that video because there's no interaction, basically. So that's why you're seeing more bumper ads on things and more non-skippable adverts, basically. So it does affect us in terms of ad revenue, but it's not a great deal, if that makes sense. We're not missing out on pounds of hundreds of pounds or whatever. It's literally a couple of pence. Now, if you were to run the advert all the way through, then click on the link at the end of the advert and then either buy something or even just browse the company's website, we make more money from that. So yeah, if you do the click out, but that's very much like all types of style of ads. If you really want to help us out, don't skip the ads and then click on it at the end. But I don't even do that. I've never gone from a YouTube advert to buying a product. I'm being honest right there. I've never done that.
No,
as soon as the skip comes up, boom.
But, I mean, Google, we were talking about this a little bit earlier. I do a lot of Google surveys, and they pay me like 6 pence or something just to answer quick questions. Yeah. But they'll often ask, which of the following adverts have you seen sort of advertising online recently? And it's always, well, none, because I don't really pay attention to them. It's almost like my brain just kind of like switches off for that 5 seconds. I'm doing something else. I look back, I see when it says skip, and I go, bosh.
Yeah. Also,
it doesn't work with me.
Yeah, exactly that. Like because 24/7 I'm staring at YouTube. 24/7 I'm always looking at YouTube. So it is literally it's just a reaction. I don't even realize that we're doing it. But if you do watch a lot of YouTubers and you actually want to help contribute to them, obviously a lot of them have that join functionality or anything like that. But if you want to do it as a net, there is obviously YouTube Premium. So what YouTube Premium does, it actually wipes off the ads, but we get revenue from that. So it's not massive amounts. I think we get around about maybe £100 to £200 a month from people that watch our channels or watch our videos via YouTube Premium, but we do get a cut of your subscription to that. So if you do watch a lot of YouTube and you want to help contribute to the creators that you're watching, either that join button, buying some merch from their spring store or whatever, or just subscribing to YouTube Premium and going from there. But I think YouTube really needs to sort that out. In terms of YouTube Premium, then you've got YouTube Mute. Like literally, there's about 4 different subscriptions. So like, you just need to have one. Just have a YouTube. Yeah. Anyway, that's a whole other video.
Yeah,
so
we're not sponsored or anything.
No.
We're not pushing you into it.
No, exactly. But if you don't buy it. No, but yeah, that's just it's just another way that you can help contribute to your favorite artists, without actually physically doing anything. You can set up a direct debit. Anyway, moving on from that. So that's the skipping ads. So when it comes to the algorithm and the metrics of the way you watch it, now, if you want a truthful answer, if we want a truthful answer of what you are watching, don't watch our video all the way through because you think you're helping us. It sounds very weird, but we need the whole reason, what you'll notice over the past 6 months, YouTube have really starting to push chapters, and now they're automatic within the feed. So even if you don't put the chapters in, YouTube will eventually put the chapters in your video, so you don't have control. So if you upload videos to YouTube, highly recommend you put your own chapters in, because then you have the control of where they go and what you want to see. But basically, because of those chapters, it's better to see a sporadic, it sounds a bit weird, but rather than, although having a nice flow of it, peaking and going, when you look at the line graph or whatever, a nice continual, continual flat line, it's nice to see that. It's actually better for us and for YouTube, for people clicking on the chapters and just watching what you want to watch. The reason for that is because then we get an idea of what you, the audience, actually physically like. We can go, okay, so this is on this video here, this was the most popular time, or like when we do a top 5 or our surface interval video, the shipwrecks one, we know that the Thistlegorm was the number one, that was the main thing that people watched on that video. So then we can go, okay, so we know that this is the dive site that they like. Let's see if we can make a video series or another video based on that. So then it just means that we can be more reactive to how you watch our videos, and that means then we make a video that is it's tailored for you. So then you're more likely to watch it. You're more likely to click that like button. You're more likely to hit that subscribe button if you aren't subscribed to our channel. So although having an algorithm and having it going, the watch count going from 0 to the very end, having that flat or having that constant is a good thing, I personally believe that it's better to see things that are a little bit more sporadic, so you chopping through the videos and go from that. And also as well, what a lot of people do as well is they pause the video, wait for it to load up, and then they click the end, because then it doesn't play the ads, and then you hit refresh. Then that's basically just a tip. That's just a hack I just taught everyone. But again, if you can't be bothered to click the skip buttons, literally just give it a couple of minutes, let the video load in its entirety, skip to the end, hit replay, and then it will load out without any ads, because YouTube thinks that you've already watched it. So in a nutshell, yes, the algorithm is a pain in the butt, but it's a good pain in the butt. I'd rather have it be sporadic, so we can kind of get a formula of what we need to film for you guys to watch, than it being the same all the time. Don't get me wrong, it's amazing when people watch our videos from the beginning all the way to the end. It's brilliant because you've engaged with the video all the way through, and that's great, that's fantastic. But also as well, we need to, we've got 84.6 thousand people that are subscribed to our channel, and even more watch our videos that aren't subscribed to our channel, which is a YouTube struggle ongoing thing right now. So yeah, if we could get as much information with how you relate to our videos and what you are watching, the better it is, basically. So it is a pain in the butt, but it's actually a really good pain in the butt. Is there anything else you want to add to that, Mark? Is there anything that you've noticed?
No. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, yes, we can literally see, we get a bar chart, which is like the timeline of the video, and it starts at 100%, so everyone is watching the first few seconds, and then it sort of slowly starts to drop off, and if it is a boring section, then it suddenly drops off. So we're like, oh, okay, they didn't like this, or this wasn't, so let's stay away from that. Exactly. And yeah, I think the final 20 seconds where it comes up with the sort of the click things, I think the best thing that you can do is either just sort of hit the subscribe button or just hit to another playlist. But no, actually physically watching more minutes, it's not the end of the world if you don't watch the entire thing from start to finish. Yeah,
exactly. So yeah, just keep what you're doing. If you do watch our channel and you've watched more than maybe 2 or 3 videos, please hit that subscribe button. It is free. We're doing the YouTube thing.
That's important.
Yeah. Our subscribe rate is going up, but I think across YouTube more people now don't really subscribe to the channels. They just dip in and out, or they do a search. But yeah, that's not us having an issue. You have multi channels that have multi-million subscribers that still have, I say, like a 60-30 split or whatever it's 60-40 split, where the majority still aren't subscribed. So, yeah, it's just one of those things. But yeah, that was nice though. So thanks very much for that. That was a really nice question, and thanks, Mark, for throwing that one in there, because you found that one, didn't you? So
I did indeed.
Yeah. So thanks for doing that. You got any more information about that? Again, I know way too much. So I normally dedicate this section to come on Shearwater, but YouTube. I know you're watching this. Hit me up for a job. That would be fantastic. And if they don't, if you're a former Internet Fusion, just ignore what I just said. Swiftly moving on.
We can cut that out.
Yeah, I'll leave it in, mate. I don't like the hard cuts. I like rolling it. To be fair, this week, Mark, all our questions are, bar one, they're all from channel regulars, which is fantastic. Anyway, this is from Carl Knickerbocker. Awesome name. I always say that when I say your name. He says, "Hello, Sean and Mark. What up, dude? After hearing Mark talking about white fins attracting fish, what would qualify as movements to enticing to sharks? The world needs to know this answer." What is it?
Thrashing. I mean, like anything...
Head-banging thrashing?
Oh, yeah, and basically anything that resembles an injured animal or, like, easy prey. So if you're swimming all sort of calm and collected, then, yeah, that's pretty fine. Quick, sudden movements, that's going to attract something's attention. And, yeah, a lot of, like, struggling kind of motions, yeah, that's going to attract a lot of attention, especially on the surface. Obviously, it depends on the species. If it's something like a great white shark, they hunt from underneath and they look up at the surface. If it sees something struggling and thrashing around on the surface, it's going to sort of get excited by that. Other species, more like reef sharks and things, if they see something glinting and like repeatedly moving, then yeah, it is just going to draw their attention. But I mean, bleeding, I wouldn't worry about. Sharks couldn't care less about human bloods. They can probably smell it, but it's not that interesting for them, because why would it be?
No, the problem is if you're diving and you're bleeding and you're near a forest, the bears will just jump in the water and get you.
So yeah, I mean, it's basically thrashing around, anything that resembles an injured animal. But as long as you're cool and calm and collected, then the shark's going to look at you and go, okay, yeah, that looks pretty strong. I'm not going to worry about sort of trying to take that on. Yeah. They're going to go for the weak targets. So yeah, just nice, calm, cool, and you'll be fine. But any kind of thrashing around, and yeah, that's going to catch their attention. Cool. It probably it'll be incredibly rare that it actually leads to an attack or an incident. But
depends, mate. You might have a sandwich in your pocket, and they really like sandwiches. Jam sandwiches.
I always remember a friend of mine. We were up in the Farne Islands, and they got a lot of sort of seals around there, and he thought this was gonna like be a game changer, because in like the Caribbean or something, I don't think they do it so much anymore, but the dive guides, they'd have like a slice of bread in one of their pockets, and of course over time it kind of breaks down and the fish then sort of come round. So he thought, oh, I'll bring down, I can't remember what it was, but like a tin of like canned tuna or mackerel or something. And he like opened it up underwater, expecting to be just hounded by all these seals. But of course, they close their nose when they're underwater. They're holding their breath. They're not going to smell it. So he was like, opened it up, and nothing happened. And he was like, oh, yeah, that was a mistake.
Oh, dear.
Fool.
Oh dear.
But no, just sudden movement, a lot of sort of thrashing around, that'll catch their attention.
And more pink sequins or white sequins.
Just any sequins, anything that glints, that looks like sort of fish scales, because you get that after like what you call it, sort of sharks have attacked a fish, and they like sort of tear it to shreds, and then you get that little glinting of the scales that have been like ripped off throughout the water.
It's beautiful.
So yeah, they're gonna key in on that. So you want to avoid like little jewelry with little sort of glinty bits, because that's just going to catch their eyes.
You misread the question. This is about attracting sharks. So you want to be as you need to go diving where your cylinder looks like a massive what do they call them? Like a disco ball.
Yeah,
that's what you want. Fourth Element need to do a white sequin glittery wetsuit. X Deep, they need to make their regulator, so in order to mimic pain, the sharks can hear you going, ooh, that hurt. And then the sharks be like, there's someone injured around here, and then boom.
All of the little pool dumps on your BCD, they can be tiny little inflatable sort of disco balls.
Yes. Yes. That is what we need, scuba divers. I am guys and girls, if you want to elaborate on that in the comments below, please do. Do you think shiny stuff? Yeah, maybe you have thoughts about how to attract sharks or entice sharks without getting eaten. Yeah. Let us know down below, please. Let's swiftly move on. So the next question is from Sean. Mm-hmm. Hey Sean. Mm-hmm. He says, I'm looking for a new mask. Excellent. Don't forget to buy that at SimplyScuba.com, the world's most leading, or the world's #1 scuba diving retailer, online retailer in the world. It says, I mainly dive in the UK. However, all being well with travelling next year, I want a mask that is good for UK green water and something to protect me from UV when travelling. I like the style of the XV1 and the X Deep mask. Is there anything else I should consider? The only other one I can think of is the new Aqualung. Many thanks. The Terric. That makes a fantastic mask.
Yeah. I mean, for UV protecting, you're looking at the VX1 from Apeks, the Radical, which I think is its like unofficial name of the X Deep mask, the Radical.
Radical man, all right.
I don't think that comes in a UV cut or does it? I can't remember. I don't know. I know the VX1 mask definitely does.
You're fired. You're fired from askmark.
How dare you hesitate on knowledge?
It
does the Apeks VX1, the UV cuts. It will give everything a slight yellowish tint when you first start off, because it is cutting out some blue light. Your eyes do adjust to it pretty quickly. It's like wearing like tinted lenses. Eventually, your eyes do sort of get used to it, and everything does look perfectly normal. But yeah, it does cut out a lot of the blues and obviously the ultraviolets, which are going to damage your eyes. Any others? There are a few others, but yeah, the Apeks is a very nice mask, and you consider everything that comes with it as well for the price. Normally with like UV cut masks, they're in the sort of getting up to 3 figures, but with the Apeks one you also get a pretty nice what is it called, like EVA case instead of the cheap like plastic box that most masks just come in. The Apeks one, you get a nice zippered case. It also comes with a neoprene mask strap, so you can swap it over if you don't like the silicone ones. Even in the buckles, they've actually got a metal barrel on the inside of that instead of plastic, so it lasts a lot longer. But yeah, that's like the top of my list when it comes to sort of UV protected sort of masks. The Exit one's very nice, nothing wrong with it. But if I were choosing between the two, I think I'd lean towards the Apeks, just because of the sort of extras that you get.
Funny that.
Yeah, go figure. Let me just adjust my hat.
Yeah. Go figure.
Aqualung, Apeks Aqualung, they're basically the same company. So
you've just pulled back the curtain.
I know. Is that an industry secret?
Oh my!
Doubt it.
Very much
Apeks
doubt
make
it.
Most Aqualung regulators. It's just Aqualung assemble them in France.
Suck le bleu. That's my French.
So yeah. I mean, I can wholeheartedly recommend the VX1 mask. It's very, very nice. You can use it at home and abroad as well. I wouldn't bother with too many others, and it's relatively price sensible. Is probably the best way to put it. It's not. It's not ridiculously priced. It's not expensive, and you get a lot for what you pay.
No, you meant to say you get a lot of bang for your buck.
You get a lot of bang for your buck.
Oh, yeah, cool, cool. Guys and girls, shall we? Masks. Yeah. You watching right now? What mask you got? If it's UV, what brand is it? Why did you buy it? Anything else? Let us know below. Thanks.
There'll be a link to the Apeks one up here in the corner.
And if you also want a mask, if you do have a mask already and you want a nice EVA foam case or whatever it is, you can also buy our own. Yeah, we make our own, which you can, funnily enough, purchase. It's just popped up. Oh, what's he doing? Where's he going?
I have one here.
Buy that at SimplyScuba.com.
That's not a VX1. That's an Atomic Aquatics.
Oh dear. Right. We've done all the plugs. Yeah, buy that now. Christmas is coming up.
Yeah, good gift.
Do it. Yeah. Oh, by the way, guys and girls, wait for that. November and December, we're going to be ramming Christmas down your throat this year. Couldn't do it last year. We didn't have that much insight. Here's a bolt snap. Buy it. Yeah. This time last year. But yeah, now we've got a lot of stock. So Christmas. Oh, we could do a Christmas version of askmark. It can all be snowy. Well, I'll be all right. You've got to get snow in yours. I'll just green screen some stuff. Winter Wonderland.
Not down south over here.
It does for a day, and then everyone's like, "Oh, this is great," and then everyone else complains after about 5 minutes because it's all slippery, and everyone crashes. Anyway, that's another askmark. We are going off topic. The last question is from Newbie, or new to the show. He might be a follower. DVN Ultimate. Sorry, DVN Ultimates. That's how you say that. He says, or they say, sorry, what is your opinion about the Mara's XR in general and the XR Rec in particular? I'm considering this as my first backplate slash wing slash backplate even. Would you recommend this product? Any alternatives that you could suggest? Thanks a lot.
Yeah, so Mara's XR, I actually have a Mara's XR wing.
Of course you do.
Of course I do. They're relatively new. They've only been out 5 or 6 years, but their equipment is solid. They did have problems with one of their inflators a couple years back, but they've corrected that now. Good sort of solid brand, good heritage as well. Mara's sort of always a strong brand, and they have that like Italian flair, that Italian style. XR, they have come up with a lot of new interesting sort of things that are very popular, and they are sort of slowly growing themselves as a sort of a technical brand. Touchwood, very solid brands, with a slightly different sort of flair and style. The XR Rec, for those of you who don't know, is a new like backplate and harness system. It's not strictly DIR. If you're going down the like GUE route, they'll probably wrap the back of your hands if you turn up with one. But realistically, it's perfectly fine. It's a mostly one-piece harness, but they do have a single brake in it, which is one of those like military sort of clips. It's metal, it's 2-part clip, but it just means that you can get in and out of it that much easier. I think you've got padded shoulders and a padded backpack, so that's a bit more comfortable, especially when you're diving abroad. And I think it has a 16-litre, just their 16-litre donuts sort of wing on the back. So for single cylinders, is a great starting point. You have the an aluminium backplate, which I also have just there. If you it's black on black, so you can't see it. But good for travel. If you're looking for something to dive at home, sort of in colder waters, it might be worth going down the stainless steel backplate route, because then you have a little bit more strength, but you have a bit more weight in it. So you don't have to have as much lead on your weight belt. So that is an option. It is quite nice to have a bit of a heavier back plate because it's literally against your back. And it's nice and close, and that's kind of where you want the negative buoyancy, because it's very close to your center of buoyancy, so you're not going to sort of like twist and turn. As soon as you put things further up away from your body, then it has that like leverage to like pull you over. You want it nice and close and trim to your body. But the XR Rec, yeah. It's pretty new. I think it's new for 2021. They might have announced it in 2020, but no one talks about 2020. Not a lot happened in 2020.
Nope.
But yeah, if you're looking at about sort of starting off, getting into the rec range, then yeah, that would be a good like starting platform, because then what you can do is you can take the wing off and then fit a twin wing onto the into the back of it, like their 24-kilo wing, I think it is, and then you can dive it with twins, and then. I haven't seen one. I haven't managed to sort of have one in front of me to play with, but I think you can, or you should be able to sort of disassemble it and then fit either different harness on it if you wanted to, but yeah, sort of swap things over. But yeah, as a brand in general, yeah, pretty good. Good solid materials as well. I think that's one of the reasons why I went for their wing, because they have a tough internal bladder and a tough external bladder as well. Their regulators are very nice. Maris have always made really nice regulators, or their accessories as well. I'm going to talk about bolt snaps, but they have ceramic coated bolt snaps, which are funky. So yeah, they're a decent brand. I wouldn't worry too much about investing in Maris XR.
Cool, nice. Any users of the XR Rec that are watching? Let DVN Ultimate know your thoughts on that as well. Yeah, yeah. Maris, they're
pretty new.
They're solid. They're solid though. Yeah, but you got to think about it. It's new, but it's already quite. It's already up there with the bigger brands when it comes to tech, I guess, because you have that lineage, you have that heritage from Mares, and as well, they're definitely a company that you wouldn't have. I shouldn't probably say this, but you wouldn't have any issues with. It's not like it's a startup. Like, it's not like they're 5 years old, but they're literally 5 years old. You know what I mean? They're attached to a much bigger heritage, a much bigger company, even bigger than Mares. You know what I mean? They're attached to something. So Mares aren't the head of the company. They're a what's it? A section. They're a branch of the company that owns them, which is a massive company. Yeah, massive company. They own everything. So, yeah. Well, one day Internet Fusion might buy Head. So then, in theory, Maris' own brand. That would be lovely.
I mean, they bought Revo rebreathers a few years back. So and then they created the Maris Horizon rebreather, which is pretty cool. So yeah, they're on the up and up, as it were. But yeah, their technical range is pretty good, and it's decent, solid, well built material. And touch wood, I've never had a problem with my wing. So yeah,
it's really only, in all honesty, again, touch wood, it's only really ever going to get better, isn't it? So.
The only thing there is one thing that I don't like, but it's purely cosmetic, and that they put the branding on the webbing. I'm seeing a lot more brands going down this route. Instead of just traditional black or coloured webbing, they have to put their branding down it. I'm not into it. If you don't care, that's fine. But yeah, it's not my thing.
Calm down. Just calm down.
I know. Apex started to do it, and you're like, oh no.
Oh no. What are they doing, Apex? Branding stuff. Who would wear their own brand stuff? Hey, Mark, nice hat you got there. Shall we end the show? No, I do get what you mean though. Like, having been like a logo on a beanie or something, that's all right. But yeah. If there wasn't anything there before, but now there is, it's a bit.
Yeah, it is just the repeating. It's just a little bit too much for me. I just like standard, solid colour.
Mate, you wait till they stitch the LED within the webbing, and then Apeks have complete control over what's on there, so that they have the latest offers and deals on their website.
Yes.
20% off
With
this
the little
harness.
QR barcode
Yeah,
that you
exactly.
can scan. That would be fun.
We're not going to give. It's already out there. We've just given them the idea. So if that happens, you heard it here from us first, and I can only apologise for that. Anyway, that is it. Shall we round up the show, young Marky Mark?
Yeah. If you have any questions, comments, queries, or even corrections to anything that you've seen or heard of today, let us know down in the comments below. If you do have a question for myself or Sean, try and use the hashtag askmark or askSean. And that way it's a lot easier for us to find it. It actually pops up so we can read it. Anything to do with scuba diving, but also to do with YouTube algorithms and that kind of stuff. Sean's pretty good on that. He does a lot of bedtime reading, learning about YouTube algorithms.
I love it.
Yeah. Don't forget to check out SimplyScuba.com. We sell all sorts of interesting stuff. Most of the stuff that we've already spoken about today. There's going to be links down in the description below so you can check them out. But we sell all sorts of interesting stuff, so it's definitely worth checking out. Thank you for watching, everybody. And, of course, safe diving.
Stay classy, scuba divers.